Oil in focus. Oil prices hovering around $65 a barrel, just fractionally down this morning. So far this year, this contract has surged more than 35%. With the economy opening up, we could see a spike in demand and higher prices at the pump. In fact, we're already seeing that. I want to bring in the Schork Report principal, Stephen Schork. Stephen, good morning, and talk to me about what we're seeing with the contract. Is this because the economy is going to open back up, the global economy is going to be stronger, or is this because traders are pushing the contract up?
Well, it's a combination of both, Cheryl. We had a situation back in December where the forward curve of the market flipped. That is to say that for the better part of 2020, prices in the spot market, the current market, were below that of the prices in the forward market. This was a clear signal that there was a glut on the market and demand was not there to clear that glut. We started to see that switch back in December where the spot prices started to move above the forward curve. So clearly this was a signal to take oil out of inventory to sate rising demand in the spot market. So yes, this is a situation of demand is strong. It's expected to get strong, and traders are placing their bets accordingly.
Brian Beltsky, jump in here.
My question would be with respect to the companies, and I know you look at the forward contract, and obviously the oil prices a year ago are much different than they are today. But think about what this means for consolidation in the companies going forward. Are we in a secular type of shift back to demand relative to the supply kind of driven forces on a fundamental basis we've seen really for the last 10 years?
Yeah, it's a fair question. We're clearly at that DY over DX moment, going back to Calc 1 here, where we are at an inflection point in the industry. We had a rude awakening in 2020 with what can happen in demand, and that certainly hastened the arrival of even greater renewable technology into the market. So the industry has shifted accordingly. As far as the oil companies are concerned, they're looking at potentially peak demand, if not in the next couple of years, certainly within the next decade. So they're making plans in accord to making a shift more away from oil towards gas, towards petrochemicals, towards electricity. So this is a situation where now supply has been maintained and they've learned how to produce more efficiently. And now it's going to be driven, to your point, a demand-driven story going into the next few years.
Well, but also, Stephen, the other story here is a new administration. I mean, what impact has the Biden administration had on oil, on gas prices? I mean, think about this. Let's get, they canceled the Keystone Pipeline. They're talking about limiting supply. They're talking about, green energy jobs and canceling oil jobs. I mean, what does that tell you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's having a positive effect on price, a negative impact on the economy. Of course, with Keystone XL, we also have the situation of the moratorium now on new drilling and permitting. While this does not impact prices in the near term, it sends a clear message to the market that capital in this area will not be welcomed and will not be well treated. On the closer front of what we've seen, the biggest impact that Biden has had on prices bullishly has been his treatment of Saudi Arabia. So there was surprise 2 weeks ago when Saudi Arabia took a more hawkish view at the OPEC meeting, and oil prices surged after that surprise decision. In retrospect, I guess it should not be surprised with the way, again, this White House has treated. The Biden administration will not talk to MBS, the younger de facto leader of Saudi Arabia. They'll only talk to his ailing 84-year-old father. They're now freezing or threatening to freeze arms sales to both the UAE and Saudi Arabia. And also, they've had the release of the Khashoggi report, which did nothing but prove to embarrass MBS. So there was a lot of face slapping that this White House has done to the Saudis over the past month, and that's had an impact on price.
Hey, look, we got to run, but I'll tell you this. If you look at oil prices since the election, up more than 70%, Stephen. I mean, I think that's your headline right there. Stephen Schork, it's always great to see you. See you soon.
Great to hear, Cheryl.
All right.